Bong Joon-ho, Parasite 2019, is more than a genre-bending thriller. It's a searing critique of class structure and social mobility, crafted through precise narrative construction, powerful symbolism, and strategic audience manipulation. This video essay will explore how Parasite uses media codes and conventions to construct meaning, how the film reflects and challenges views and values in South Korea's social context, and how audiences across different cultures consume and read the text, focusing on the infamous flood sequence as a case study. We're examining how Bong's use of mise-en-scene, narrative structure, and symbolic code deepen the viewer's emotional engagement, ultimately transforming the film from entertainment into ideological critique. The flood scene in Parasite serves as a key turning point in the film narrative arc, functioning within the three-act structure as the transitional moment between the Kim family peak and their downfall. Up until this moment, the Kims have successfully infiltrated the Park household. However, the sudden storm and its devastating consequences reverses their trajectory, exposing the fragility of their success and laying bare brutal inequality between the two families. This cause and effect relationship is central to the narrative convention, showing how the same natural event, the rainstorm, functions as a minor inconvenience for the wealthy parts, but a life-destroying disaster for the poor Kims. Here, Bong subverts the expectation of rising success and forces the audience to reckon with the illusion of upward mobility under capitalism. Technically and symbolically, the scene is a masterclass in the use of cinematic codes to evoke meaning. The mise-en-scene depicts the Kim family's descent, both literal and metaphorical, as they return home through layers of stairs and alleys into the submerged semi-basement. High-angle shots are used as the characters descend from the elevated part home, reinforcing their low social status. The dim brownish lighting combined with long takes and handheld camera work creates a sense of vulnerability and chaos. As Ki-woo clutches the Scholar Rock, a symbol of failed hope, the audience sees the absurdity of clinging to capitalist aspirations. The flooded toilet erupting with sewage becomes a rustic metaphor for the inescapable pressure of poverty, visually and emotionally overwhelming the viewer. The editing pace slows here to draw out the devastation, contrasting with the more energetic and humorous pacing of earlier scenes, emphasizing the emotional and social rupture caused by the storm. This scene also powerfully constructs the representation of the working class as resourceful yet trapped, intelligent, adaptable, but still subject to structural barriers. The Kims are not lazy or intelligent, they are victims of a system designed to keep them down. Bong Joon-ho challenges the stereotype of idle poor by showing the Kims' relentless effort to survive and succeed, only to have it erased overnight. The symbolic code of space becomes crucial. Where they live, how they move, and even what they smell like becomes social boundary. This moment invites the audience to reflect on the role of architecture and geography in reinforcing class divisions, especially in urban South Korea, where semi-basement homes are both a real and symbolic reality of economic inequality. Parasite reflects the social and economic conditions of South Korea in the late 2010s, a time marked by a growing wealth gap, housing crisis, and rising disillusionment with the myth of meritocracy. In 2015, the top 10% of South Koreans control 66% of national wealth, while the bottom half held just 2%. This contrast shapes every corner of the film. The Kim family's semi-basement apartment and gig economy jobs to the false belief that cleverness alone will elevate them out of poverty. The Scholar Rock, presented early as a token of good fortune, becomes ironically heavy in the flood scene, a burden, not a blessing. By Act 3, when Ki-taek declares the best plan is no plan, the narrative critiques the very idea that the system rewards effort. Bong uses this moment to challenge the dominant value in South Korean society, that hard work alone can overcome structural disadvantage. Instead, Parasite argues that poverty is systemic and success is inherited. The film representations of class, family, and space reflect this ideological message. The Park family live in a spacious, light-filled home designed by the famous architect, symbolizing wealth and creative perfection. They are emotionally distant, reluctant on others for basic needs, and ignorant of the life that served them. In contrast, the Kim family's closeness, improvisation, and shared struggle depict resilience but also desperation. Through the symbolic use of stairs, up for wealth, down for poverty, Bong creates a visual metaphor that links setting with status, literally mapping class onto vertical space. The smell metaphor too reinforces class distinctions. When Mr. Park comments on Ki-taek's subway smell, it's not just about hygiene, it's about the inescapable residue of poverty. Audience engagement with Parasite differs dramatically across cultures. South Korean audiences read the film as a form of social realism. The setting, slang, and struggles are familiar, and rigid social hierarchy are all part of their life experience. The emotional impact is immediate and unfiltered. For Western audiences, however, the film is often consumed as a metaphor, a critique of global capitalism, class tension, and the human cost of inequality. As Paul D.B. Waskin notes in his video essay, this is so metaphorical. The film's brilliance lies in its ability to be both deeply local and universal resonant. It invites viewers to decode its symbols, from the Scholar Rock to the flood, drawing attention to the system we all live within, though not all of us are equally harmed by them. The success of Parasite on the global stage, winning the Palme d'Or and 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, speak to its ability to transcend language and national boundaries through its powerful construction. Bong Joon-ho uses the three-act narrative structure to guide the viewer through a familiar arc, always to subvert the expectations with tragedy and irony. Each act is defined by tonal shifts. Act 1 satire, Act 2 suspense, and Act 3 explosive collapse. The form is cinematic, but the themes are political. Mise-en-scene, cinematography, sound, and editing work in concert to build tension and meaning without the need for excessive exposition. The film shows rather than tells, trusting the audience to read the symbols embedded in each frame. Parasite is a narrative that not only reflects the injustice of the world, it exposes the system that perpetuates them, through careful use of media codes and conventions. Bong Joon-ho crafts a layered, emotional, and politically charged film that invites both empathy and critique. It engages local audiences with realism and cultural specificity, while challenging global viewers to confront their own assumptions about class, success, and morality. By analyzing scenes like the flood and understanding the broader production and social context, we see how Parasite transformed genre into protest and entertainment into social reflection. In a world where the gap between the basement and the penthouse grows wider each day, this film remains disturbingly relevant.